y'all, welcome back to my channel. So it is a baby shower day. So of course we're doing a virtual baby shower with coronavirus. And then a lot of my family lives out of town, so we figured this was the best option. I'm gonna bring y'all along. I'll also do either a part of this video or another video, like the baby shower preparation. And what I did just like a small balloon arch and like a backdrop. And this camera battery's probably gonna die, but just wanted to show y'all a little bit of the shower, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I know it's been a while, well, not that long, like maybe 4 weeks. So I did have the baby. My baby boy, I had him on March 30th. I know a few people have been asking, so he is here. We're safe, we're happy, we're healthy. I just haven't posted anything on social media, pictures or anything. I've shared with a few family members, but I haven't actually posted anything, but that's coming up soon. And I'll be sure to share once I do actually post pictures to my social media, and then y'all will be able to see that too on my Instagram, which is down below, so make sure y'all follow me. So this is a video about my virtual baby shower. You know, with COVID and everything going on, my dog PJ's right here. You know, with COVID and everything going on, you know, baby showers are definitely different. Given there are some people who are still doing regular baby showers, or in-person baby showers, should I say, and that's completely up to you. Whatever you decide to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. For me personally, and my husband left it up to me, we live in a different state than our family. So the process of them flying in and COVID testing and how many people were going to be at the house and can we have it outside and the weather, it was just too many factors for us. So we decided to go ahead and do a virtual baby shower. It was much easier for us. My sisters actually planned it. By planning, I mean they got on Amazon and picked the theme and ordered the items and just sent them to my house. You know, Amazon has 2-day shipping, so it was pretty easy, pretty affordable. It wasn't a lot of planning. My twin sister just had her baby in January, so a few months before me. So my older sister and I planned hers, and now my twin sister and me are planning my older sister's virtual shower because we all are having babies. My twin sister had a baby in January, my baby came in March, and then my older sister's baby's due in June. So I'm well versed on virtual baby showers. I have my phone here with notes. I'm going to try to talk through this quickly. My husband is feeding Kari now, so I'm hoping he'll go to sleep, but you know, I don't know what he's going to do. He's only 3 weeks, well actually he'll be 4 weeks Tuesday. Time's going by so fast, but I mean, you know, he'll do whatever that is. So first things first, I'm going to look at my phone for notes. For the virtual baby shower, the first thing you want to do is pick your platform. So the platform is going to be very important. The platform that we went with was Zoom for all the virtual baby showers. I know that Facebook is a different platform. I believe Google Meetup or Google Hangout or Google whatever, but we went with Zoom. Only because with my job I'm familiar with Zoom, and Zoom seemed most simple to me. I'm sure Facebook is pretty simple too, but I'm just more familiar with Zoom. So you want to pick your platform first. If budget or cost is a thing, you want to make sure you look at the cost. So they have the free Zoom platform, but I think with that one you can only do 40 minutes for whatever you're using it for, and it's a limited amount of people who can be on the actual Zoom meeting. So I had to upgrade to, I think it's $9.99 a month, and I just did. And actually, I think when I did it, my baby shower was in February a few months ago. They had where you could do like a 30-day free trial, I believe. But even if not, it's $9.99 a month, and then just after that, make sure you cancel it. But with that, you have the upgraded membership where it's an unlimited time, and then I think you are allowed like 100 people on. And on my baby shower, you know, you invite a certain amount of people, but I think the people who actually joined, I want to say it was 35-ish or 40-ish, so nowhere near 100. So that's something you definitely want to factor in. You want to make sure before the day of you know how to navigate whatever platform you're using. You want to make sure whatever slides you're using, whatever items you're using in the shower, you want to make sure that you know what to do, how to navigate it. Whoever's going to be navigating it knows what they're doing. For me, again, me and my husband, we both know how to work Zoom. Most important thing with Zoom, the master mute, all mute. You want to make sure if it's just you or your significant other or your spouse talking, you want to make sure you're muting everyone, because people will talk. They'll talk over you. They'll talk when you're talking. There'll be side conversations, and it kind of gets confusing, especially if you have a higher amount of people on. So you just want to make sure you use that master mute button. Also, being sure that you know how to share your screen. So I had to figure that out. I have a MacBook, but I had to figure that out because it was like some different buttons to press, and I'll put a clip in here showing exactly what I mean. But you want to make sure you're sharing your screen to everybody so they can see what you're showing, that it's clear. When you are typing up your screens for your games or whatever it is that you want to show related to your theme or information you're trying to get across, you want to make sure the font is big enough, the font is clear and able for people to read. I was having a lot of issues with that at first, especially with the what I was using to make my games and my slides. It was becoming a little difficult with the fonts. Like, you know, if it's too small, or, you know, the pretty fonts, sometimes you can't read them. You have to think these are people who are going to be looking on their cell phones and their laptops, or even like an iPad or a tablet. So you just want to make sure whatever you're trying to show them is clear. So first things first, just pick your platform. Make sure you know how much it costs. Make sure you know how to navigate it, who's going to use it, what are you going to use. Are you going to be doing your baby shower from a laptop? Are you going to be doing your baby shower from your phone? You just want to make sure you have all the logistics worked out before the day of. My sisters and I did a run through. We did it twice just to make sure, work out all the kinks in terms of setup, lighting, what room you want to do it in, what wall you want to do it on, that kind of stuff. You just want to make sure you have all that figured out beforehand. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the theme. You want to pick the theme. Of course, with any baby shower, whether it's virtual or in person, a theme is going to be important. So my theme for my baby's baby shower, I was having a boy, so it was like a woodland themed theme. It went along with his nursery because his nursery is like woodland creatures, giraffes, owls, deers, that kind of stuff. So of course you want to figure out what exact theme you want to do. Once you go with that theme, the joy of the virtual baby shower is it's really not that much work you have to put into it. Of course, with the slides, and I'll show you somewhere here or the next clip, with the games, you want to make sure that the background correlates with your theme. So for my games, we did a woodland creatures background. You simply just Google any JPEG image, drag and drop it onto your desktop, drop it back into Canva just to have your background, and I'll be sure to show that to y'all for the details of it. But you just want to make sure that whatever you choose for your theme correlates with your game card or game screen or whatever you're using, if you want to do that. Or if you don't want to have an actual picture, just the colors you're coordinating, just something so it's all cohesive, because it is a virtual baby shower, but you still want to make sure that everything kind of flows together with what you're doing. So with that, with the theme, that also goes into the decorations or the decor. So if you're going to do a balloon arch, if you're going to do a backdrop, if you're going to set up like boxes or anything like that, I'm going to show some clips here and there of my actual baby shower, what my sisters and what we decided to do. I did a balloon arch, which I set up, and I have some clips of that. It took me, I want to say, about 2 hours. It was my first time doing a balloon arch. I thought it was going to be more difficult than what it was. It wasn't that bad. Of course, I'm not a balloon arch expert, but it was enough to get to, you know, what we needed it for. So we did the balloon arch. We did a Woodlands themed backdrop. We did baby cardboard baby boxes that we found on Amazon. I had a little table that I actually got out of our loft area in my husband's game man cave area, and then we put a diaper cake that one of my best friends made for me, which I wasn't expecting, but it was a perfect little addition to the decor, which was needed because there was like a little blank space area. And then my husband and I just set up our 2 chairs in front of the decor, and then we just had the gifts and what people gave us on one side of the wall. It was very simple. I did most of the decorations by myself because my husband was under the weather the night before when we had to set everything up, so I ended up doing most of it alone. But it was very simple, very easy. I think my sisters got me like a mom to be sash. I want to say I had something like a head on my head or something, but I want to say they spent under $100 on everything. Of course, putting into this, if you are not familiar or don't do balloon arches on a regular basis, you have to buy the actual balloon pump to blow up the balloons. Makes your life so much easier. You don't want to sit and blow up balloons with your mouth. That'll take all day. So the machine was very quick, and I think with that you want to factor in another additional $30. But at least with the machine, that's something that you can keep. You don't have to keep repurchasing that. But of course with the balloons and backdrop and things like that, unless that's going with another theme that you have, you can't really reuse that stuff. But I want to say it was under $100. My sister also got cookies because I'm a sweet eater, but I also had gestational diabetes, so we didn't get a lot of cookies, but we just got a few to go with the theme, and I'll insert a clip of that here. There is a baker that I've used a few times here. I live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I'll be sure to link her information below. Her cookies taste amazing. They're always really good. They're always really sweet. Love them. So again, and it was just my husband and I, just us two. So we didn't want a bunch of like desserts and like a bunch of stuff and you know, just something. So we did that. And you know, of course, if you want to add in desserts, if you do want to have a few people, a few family members at your house with the virtual baby shower, maybe have a few people at your home in addition to doing something on the actual computer screen so other people can join in. If you're limited to the amount of guests or you don't want so many people in your home, that is an option to consider. You can still do the virtual baby shower and you can still have an in-person baby shower. You can do 50-50. Whatever works for you, whatever you're comfortable with. It's your house or whatever venue you're using. We just did ours at home because, you know, it was just us. But of course you can do venue, a restaurant, whatever you want to do. But just making sure that whatever theme you use, I would definitely recommend Amazon. Amazon has all. We got everything off of Amazon, and even if it's not exactly what you're looking for, you know, you can find what you need on Amazon. It's reasonably priced, 2-day shipping if you have Amazon Prime. Even if you don't have Amazon Prime, usually the shipping isn't that much, but you just want to make sure that you order everything in enough time to get there for your shower. A lot of the specialty items, especially if they're very specific themes and not very general, sometimes those can take a little bit longer, so you just want to make sure that you factor that in. So we have our platform, Zoom. We have our theme. For me, it was Woodlands Creatures. So just pick your theme, girl or boy. You can always look on Pinterest for themes. That's where I found mine. It kind of also just correlated with my nursery, but you can look on Pinterest for themes. You can Google themes. You can look at other YouTube videos for themes. Whatever you want to do, however you want to find that. And then the third thing, who you're inviting. So I guess I kind of talked about this previously. You just want to make sure whatever the amount of guests you're inviting, usually, or more than likely, if it's a completely virtual baby shower, the amount of people doesn't necessarily matter unless you're going over that 100 threshold for Zoom, and some of the other meeting platforms do have a limit to the amount of people, so you may have to increase whatever membership you have, which will be more expensive. So that is something that you want to factor in. But of course, like I said, we had 30-40 people. That wasn't a factor for us, but you just want to make sure that you factor that in. Also keeping in mind if you want to keep it completely virtual, or do you want to have virtual and have in person? Do you want to do all in person? However you want to set that up. For me, we did completely virtual. Like I said, we had family that would have to travel and COVID testing, and it was just too much to try to figure out, and you know, whatever. So we just did the completely virtual. With that, we used invitations. I did not feel the need to mail out invitations because this was a virtual event. With COVID and coronavirus and social distancing and people not doing things, I've been taking full advantage of that. I do not see the need of having these large events. If we don't have to have these large events, it saves quite a bit of money. I have planned baby showers. They're not the cheapest. So if you can save money, that's great. Given I wouldn't have paid for my baby shower, but still, if we all can save money, you know, you have a child on the way, there are other things that, you know, you probably want to be concerned with. So I would keep that in mind. But that's what we did. That's what worked for us. If you want to do an in-person all-out full baby shower, do you, boo. But that's just what worked for us. It was less stress. I didn't have to worry about it. And you know, it was just in the comfort of our own home. But again, do what you want to do. We did use the Evite platform because I didn't feel the need to mail out invitations and you have to figure out postage and addresses, and it's just too much. So we did the Evite. My sister made that for us. Just kind of generally, they have different themes. It may not be the exact theme, but even if you just do a plain invitation that you could text to people, or if you do an Evite that matches the theme. Also, we made a Facebook group, so you can make a private Facebook group for your baby shower that's listing the details. You can list your registry information. Okay, y'all, my battery went dead. So what I was saying about the Facebook group, we also use the opportunity to do like questions of the week, so different things, just to keep it interactive and fun, because, you know, of course, with the virtual baby shower, at the end of the day, we are not seeing people in person, but we still wanted to keep people engaged and keep people, you know, reminding them there is a baby shower coming up, don't forget. Just cute little fun things like that. So one of the questions of the week for me, I think, was, do any current mamas have any breastfeeding tips? Also different questions like, do you have any sleeping tips? I was wanting to do a natural and medicated birth, so questions and tips in terms of those moms who have had an unmedicated birth, and if they had any tips or suggestions or thoughts on that. So that is a way that we kept people engaged, because again, we were having a virtual baby shower, but we still wanted people to feel like they were included. Also, for the sake of my sisters, so people, because you know, the invitations they have where you can contact this person if you have any questions, we just did that all through the Facebook group. If people had any questions, they were able to message my sisters or leave the question in the actual chat, or post it in the Facebook group. So we were able to do that, and it was just much easier in terms of just making sure information is in one place. So that's what we were able to do. Although we did not use Facebook for our meeting platform, we did use it for the actual event and invitation. So in addition to texting out those Evites invitations, we also did the Facebook group where you were able to see that information as well. So there were two places the information were located. I had the registry information, again, if you had any questions, the questions of the day. Also, it was beneficial for those who did send me gifts but they forgot to put their addresses or their identifying information. I was able to post those in the group or message people in the group to figure out who sent what, so I could send out thank you cards. So that is a good tip, I think. Even if you're not using a Facebook meeting platform, I still used it for the actual invitation part of it, so we could have all of the information in one place. Also, for games, for the virtual baby shower, of course you still want to play a game or two. In my mind, you know, when you're in person, the baby showers probably run a little longer, maybe 2 to 3 hours. But with the virtual baby shower, I was wanting to keep it under an hour, at an hour, not over an hour if possible. So we only did 2 games. And again, because it's virtual, it's a little bit more difficult to coordinate things, especially given the amount of people. So the 2 games we played are What's in Your House, and also I think What's in Your Cell Phone. Those were the 2 games. I Googled them off Etsy. I used the platform Canva, canva.com. I use those for my thumbnails on YouTube as well. I'll put the website down below. And I just made templates. I did do a screen recording showing you exactly how I did it. Again, with the theme, I just found a JPEG image off of Google Images, posted that into the background for Canva, and then you type all of your information on top of it. I had a welcome screen. I think it said, welcome to my baby shower, hold tight, make sure you mute your microphone. So in the beginning of the virtual baby shower, people were able to talk and, you know, kind of chit chat, and, you know, everybody able to talk to each other, because most of our family and friends do know each other, so they want to talk to each other. Once we actually started, we master muted everyone on our end, and then at the end of it, we unmuted everyone so everyone could talk to each other, and it worked well for us that way. Also, just making sure with that on Zoom, if you do have someone else talking or saying things, making sure you unmute them. Also making sure when you do unmute them on Zoom, it's going to ask that person you're unmuting, do you want to unmute or can you unmute yourself, and they have to press the button. So remembering to do that, because you just don't want to start talking for 5 minutes and no one's listening or hearing what you're saying. So just keeping that in mind with Zoom. I'm not sure about the other platforms. I'm only familiar with Zoom because that is what we used. So with the games, again, you have your background, you have your information. We found our games off of Etsy. What's in Your House I thought was a very fun game. I actually got that game in my church group, e-group at church, and we played it for our Christmas party, I want to say. So I just used it, and we actually used it for my sister's baby shower and for my baby shower. And What's in Your Cell Phone I found on Etsy. Again, when you find these games, it doesn't have to be the exact way that they have them listed. You can edit or add or take off or not do or do whatever you want to do. This is your virtual baby shower and what you want to do. So I would keep that in mind. You know, if your baby shower games are fun, you don't want it to drag out or drag on or be too complicated, but you still want something a little fun. I prefer the interactive games. So What's in Your Cell Phone, people have to actually look in their cell phone for things. For example, how many contacts do you have in your phone that begin with the letter I, and that's assigned a point value. The person with the most points wins. So for my games, the prizes were gift cards. My sisters bought them. I want to say they were like $10 Chick-fil-A cards, a $10 Cash App, and $10 something else. Not a large gift. We only had two or three games? We only had 2 or 3 games, so it wasn't like we had to buy 8 or 10 or 20 different gifts for people. I personally like just cash apping people $10 and they can do what they want to because it's easier. With the gift cards, we did actually have to mail them out. I don't think Chick-fil-A had like an e-gift card that you could email or like text. That would be something or a tip that I would think about if you do want to do gift cards for gifts and not like a Cash App or Money or Apple Pay or whatever. I would try to find gift cards that you can electronically send. So emailing them, texting them, that kind of thing. Given, I mean, it's just a stamp and you can just mail it, but if it gets lost in the mail, you have to worry about resending it and then the person making sure they get it. So that is something, going back and thinking about it, I would probably do differently because it's just a little bit easier on the person, whoever's sending out the gift card, and getting addresses and making sure the address is correct and making sure they actually get it and going to the post office and that kind of thing. But again, it's not that big of a deal, but that is something that I will probably modify in future if I do have to have another virtual baby shower. Hopefully I won't. If we do have any more children, maybe we can have in person, but that is just a tip on that. So for the games, that is the only screens I made, and then I think at the end I put a screen, welcome, thank you for coming, that kind of thing. And then again at the end I just let people talk. I unmuted everyone and they could do what they wanted. It was an unlimited time frame, so people dropped out as they wanted to. People spoke or talked or conversated as they wanted to, and it was up to them, and we just kind of left it on, so that wasn't a big deal. And I think that's it with the virtual baby shower. Most importantly, have fun. It's about you. It's about your spouse and your baby and the new arrival on the way. You don't want to put a lot of emphasis on making sure everything is perfect. It doesn't matter. In my mind, and what I continue to tell my sisters, nobody sees, this is your house. Nobody's here. It doesn't matter. If something messes up or if something isn't perfect or something doesn't work, that's completely okay. You can keep going, and again, this is your baby shower. Make it what you want. You know, I know with COVID and coronavirus, things are way different and things are completely different, and it's very annoying. And I was very annoyed that I was not able to have an in-person baby shower. Well, let me rephrase. I could have had an in-person baby shower, but I just didn't really feel like it was worth it, and it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Again, if you want to have an in-person baby shower, more power to you. Do whatever you want to do. But for me and my husband and our needs and our family and our situation, it was just easier for us to do virtual, and it actually came out pretty good. The same thing we're doing virtually is the same thing we would do in person. It's just there aren't any people, and that's okay. They're on the computer. You were able to talk. You were able to interact. Just making sure if you do have a more quiet bunch, you want to key in on those interactive games, making sure that people are participating, making sure that people are talking and interacting with each other, because you want to make it as fun as possible. Most important, the time limit. Again, I wanted to keep it under an hour. I know once you start doing games and opening up gifts, you know, it may run over depending on how many gifts you had. I want to say we stayed at an hour exactly, you know, given the conversation, talk, and chitter chatter. You still want it to be fun. It doesn't, I mean, it's not a work meeting. So you do want people to have fun and enjoy themselves, but you do also kind of want to stay on a flow of things. Our flow, you know, we welcomed people, we played games. Devon, I said my husband Dry, and I said a little something, and then we opened up gifts. A lot of the gifts we had already opened up because they came in Amazon boxes. I myself was also continuing to order things off Amazon like I do every day. So I wasn't for sure if it was gifts or if it was for me. So I ended up opening up a lot of things. So that made it a little bit quicker. I wasn't newly opening up items. And on Amazon in the thank you section, you're able to see exactly what you received for your gifts and who sent it. So it's not the biggest surprise unless you just never look back on your registry on Amazon. Now, I don't know about other websites like Target and that kind of thing. I was initially registered at Target, but a few of the items I wanted were not on Target and were only on Amazon, so that's why I switched. But that's another thing that saved us time. A lot of the boxes were already opened. Even if you don't want to open up things beforehand, I would recommend, if you do have a lot of brown boxes, actually just like getting scissors or like a box opener, your husband or whoever, making sure those boxes are actually open. So even if you don't want to see the gift, maybe someone else can open those boxes up for you, but at least the boxes would be open. So then once you're showing the gifts, you're actually showing the gift and not having to open up boxes and spend time doing all of that. So I do see how opening up gifts could probably take a little bit of time, but I would recommend that, just having someone else open up the actual cardboard boxes for you if they can. I would also recommend during the actual shower having a lot trash bags, so instead of you just throwing things everywhere, which is what I did, and we ended up with a pile of trash that took forever to clean up, have the bag and you keep the item on one side and then put the box or the paper or the trash or the whatever you're throwing away in the bag, so then at the end of the shower, your husband or your significant other or whoever's doing it can take it out to the trash and you don't have this big heaping pile of trash. Also, we took the decorations down the same day. I know some people like to leave their stuff up. My sister likes to leave her stuff up for weeks. I'm not that way. I just want to take it down because if I do not take everything down the day of, it's going to stay up. It is pretty. I'll take pictures and whatever, but I have to take stuff down. If not, it'll be there for months. And then we rearranged the furniture. But I think overall, everything came out great. It was very easy to plan. It was very easy to get together. Again, my sisters and I did do a run through about the weekend before to make sure everything was okay. Glitches, lighting, what room, what wall, the sound, how we look, how close things need to be, the arrangement that you have set up in front of people. Do you need to move this chair? Do you need to do this? Do you need to get closer? That kind of stuff. You just want to make sure that you have all of that figured out beforehand, because trying to do it like the hour before or the day of can be overwhelming, especially if you're doing other things. So for me, I didn't get my makeup done or do anything like that. My hair was already done, but of course, if you're getting your makeup done or other things that you're doing on the actual day of, you just want to make sure the actual event is ready to go, so you can just turn your laptop on and go from there. I did see on some YouTube videos where people were able to use 2 laptops, so one laptop where you could actually see the people and interact, and then the other laptop like where the husband or the spouse or significant other was actually working and moving through the games. For us, we tried to do that, but when we set up 2 laptops, I don't know if they were too close together or what exactly was happening, but we would always get like this echo or this noise on the other end of our Zoom because the 2 Zooms and the laptops were so close together. So we just went with one laptop and it worked well for us. Of course, we were sitting and the laptop was like off in front of us, like on a chair, so we did have to get up to switch over the games and things like that. You can, if you want to, switch the host to someone else, so they're able to change the games and do that kind of thing. But for me, I had already made the slides and the games and things like that, so it was just easier for me to do it. But that is an option if you don't necessarily want to be getting up and changing the slides and doing that kind of thing. Again, for me, it wasn't that big of a deal because I had already made the slides, and also it was only 4 slides, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Most of the time it's going to be spent with the camera on you when you're opening gifts. The games go by pretty quickly, but when you're opening gifts and saying thank you and oh it's cute and that kind of stuff, that's what spent the most time. So switching between those slides wasn't really that big of a deal, at least to me. Different strokes for different folks. If that bothers you, set up a different laptop and figure that out. We tried to figure it out, but again, the echoing with the two laptops when both the Zooms were on, and we couldn't figure out how to not get that to happen, even when we muted, or so it just wasn't that big of a deal for us to try to figure out. I'm trying to think. I think I mentioned everything. The theme, we use Zoom, the Facebook group, Canva. I'm gonna insert clips of everything, these websites. If you have any questions, you can just leave those down below. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up button, hit that red subscribe button if you're not if you are not a current subscriber, and make sure to leave any comments down below. I do love to interact with y'all. I do have lots of new videos coming up, a lot of baby related stuff, newborn must-haves, a newborn routine, you know, that kind of stuff. We're trying to get into a routine, but I'm trying to keep up with my YouTube because I do actually enjoy doing it. So if y'all have any suggestions, any thoughts, any ideas for future videos, be sure to leave that down below. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.